Calling all beings. Calling all beings.
Can somebody give me an amen for Aiden Turtle Boy Kearney? Good evening, everybody. I'm your host, DJ, along with my illustrious co-host. What that name is?
Boston Dia.
You know that's right. We gonna do the damn thing tonight. We're gonna try to raise some Monet. I gotta tell her right now that she's not gonna be able to make it, Meredith. So we got other people that's gonna come in though. We got Erica, might have Laura Murray. The turtle himself will be here, and Mike Crawford. Can you give it a good? Go ahead. Your best accent. Oh, we can't hear you.
I'm still muted. I don't know how I muted myself. But anyways, yes, Mike Crawford.
That's good. Not yet.
That's good. It's just how I say it.
Awesome. All right. Let's say hi to people in the chat. See what's going on here. All right. Let's start at the top. Mandy was in here. She's linking in through Mike's stream. Hi, Mandy Arkner. Welcome. Bienvenidos. And here is Colleen from Itchy Withers Horse Rescue, which is up in New Hampshire. Yeah, seeing if you looking forward to seeing you. I'm glad you're here quite a bit, and we really do appreciate that. That does not go overlooked, to be sure. So I don't know if the turtle thing's going to get auctioned off tonight. We're going to have to figure out how to do that. So you might have to do some work in the background. You know, that virtual wheel that she was spinning. You can, you might have to Google that. That virtual, because we're gonna have to do some
homework?
of that. Well, I mean, now that Meredith, because Meredith was doing that, you know what I mean? But if she's not going to be here, otherwise I would have been prepped with that. You know what I mean? Because I actually thought about that. Let me Google that and see how that works, because we might have to spin a wheel. Hi, Julie is here. The original gangster mod of Calling All Beings. Hi, Jules. How are you, love? How's Alabama? And what's this? This is the young Jim, Mike's place. Yep, Mike is streaming on here, Jules. So whomever is watching this is also watching on Mike's channel. And you're on both. You got that. Look at BS on both. The Swiss Miss is here. Yole-hee-hoo. Give me some hot chocolate. And yeah, the young jerks. There he is.
Yes. Hi, Mikey.
You support us by sending stars. Stars help us earn more content. I don't know what he means by it. Does that mean likes? I'm not sure what that means.
Support us by sending stars. Stars help us earn money to make more content.
Mike is smarter than me. I mean, he gave me some advice today. We're going to have to talk to him about that. But Jen O is here. Hello, Jen O. How are you? Dizzy Wolves is here. Thank God, I was feeling lonely. No one around. You got somebody around now. You can hang out with me, be on the homies. And let's see who else we got here. Stinkerbell. Hey, jerks. What's up? We are jerks also. So this is apropos. And wait a minute. Do you know who this person is right here?
Of course, that's my girl.
Lulu Bell.
Yes.
How are you, buddy?
She is awesome.
She is awesome.
And her husband.
Yep. I don't think I got to meet her husband, but she's such a nice lady.
No, and she went and told him that I thought he was cute. I was so embarrassed.
Oh my God, Lulu
I was
Bell.
like, oh no.
Come on. She's married.
I know. I was just like, okay, awkward.
Yeah. Awkward. And look at that. I even get a separate greeting from you. See that?
Oh, nice. Nice.
You know what? I got something for Lulu Bell too. Here we go. Yeah, Lulu Bell. So tonight, and so let me see if is anyone here? There are. Oh my God. Yeah.
You have to give me a warning there, my friend.
I was so excited when I saw you.
How are you guys? I gotta turn.
Oh my God. Okay. You want to talk about someone who should have a YouTube channel, Bia?
No.
Yes, right there.
No, never. I
Okay.
could never do it because
Okay.
when I was on who was I on? Brit Happens a couple of
Mhm.
weeks ago, and her internet went out and she was like gone, and I was like, "Hi," like I had no idea what to say. So
No,
no,
I feel like well, you weren't ready for it. You were surprised. I feel like I'm not saying that you should get a YouTube. I'm just saying that if you did get a YouTube, you'd be awesome. You're just a
oh,
fantastic guest and you're very witty. You know what I mean?
that's what they
That's,
say. I mean, I don't know. Can you imagine the shit I
Yes.
don't say?
yeah.
There's a
See,
lot.
that's what I mean. This is what I was talking about, Jen. So, anyway, how are you? Let's catch up. How you doing? There's been a lot going on. Your son graduated. So, how
My
you been?
son graduated from high school. I got to tell you something really funny before I go on. So I see Kelly Garcia in here. So do you guys remember when Jen O'Donnell made that comment, Jen Altman's in the chat, that's fun? Remember when she did that?
No,
You
I
might
didn't know that.
remember.
I
During
think I remember.
her rant, during her like mental breakdown.
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, Jen Altman's in the chat. That's fun." And that's actually how I met Jimmy.
Mhm.
Is we communicate. So I walked into court the other day for Aiden's thing, and Kelly Garcia says, out of the blue, it was dead quiet in the courtroom. Jen Altman's in the courtroom. That's fun. It was the best. I was like, I have got to be friends with this girl. So I stalked her down, and now I'm friends with her.
Now you guys are homies. That's awesome, man.
But yes, my son graduated from high school, and we're starting the college, getting him ready to go to college, and yeah, it's a sweet and time of life, but it's a change. So
And you know what? Even though I assume he's not going to Dean College, but we
he
can
is
still
not,
be friends. We can still be friends, even though he's not going to Dean, because
but he'll be close because he's just going to be in one of the states surrounding.
Okay,
Massachusetts.
that's
So
fair enough.
he'll be close.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion everybody should go to Dean. I'm really not. I'm just kidding. But it is good for people who are like me, and there's a lot of connotations that are included in that. But
Well, it was a junior college when I graduated from high
it
school.
was.
It was a
It
junior
was.
college.
That's when I went. When I went, it was a
Oh,
junior
okay.
college. I was a
Okay.
Dean Demon, but now they're the Dean Bulldogs.
Yeah, now it's a 4-year university.
Yep. I don't think it's a university, and I don't know the distinction
College.
between university and college, but it is a college. I don't know if that
It
means
must
they
be
have
some kind
master's
of
degree
accreditation or
programs.
something. Maybe.
Yeah, because
Some sort of
Dean doesn't have
accreditation.
masters. Otherwise, I'd be trying to get my master's at Dean. So,
Well, my son is going to a university that is actually a D1 university for sports, but like way down, like not like March Madness. Like they were in March Madness last year. I think they on the first round, but so he should have a lot of fun there because he's a sports guy. So he should have a lot of fun at that school.
Did he play sports in high school? And
He did. He played basketball, but he much rather played club sports or like rec than varsity because he just loves playing the game. He likes to win, but it's not like he just loves playing the game.
Playing sports, right? Yeah, and maybe that's like the distinction between like players. These players that they have to win. They have to just have so much drive. You know what I mean? It could have that may be the distinction there. But I agree. I love to play also, and winning is great. But I'm not someone who's gonna like trip somebody on the court to win or something like that.
Right.
So
right. So he just has fun. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. So we're gonna do this tonight for the turtle,
Yep.
and that is
For
pinned
the
to the
turtle.
Yep, your buddy. That is pinned to the top of the chat. He will be stopping by also. There it is in the banner.
Oh, good.
Right there.
Good.
Meredith was going to, I just got a message that her daughter or son, one of her children is sick.
Daughter.
So
daughter. No.
Yeah, so she's not going to be able to make it. I don't know if I'm going to check in on Twitter and see if I've got a message, if we're going to be able to raffle off the poster or do the poster.
Let me text her.
Please.
And see if we can So she was going to raffle off a poster.
Yes.
We could always have her come back on Wednesday to spin the wheel, DJ.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, next
another
time
option.
we're on, because that's what she's done
Yeah.
in the past too. So
Yep.
as long,
Okay.
as long as they add, cab to the comment, she'll be
Comments.
able to track the people that have entered.
Okay, and so the
Okay,
idea
just
tonight.
texted her.
Thank you. So let people know what we are going to be giving away, and I'll figure out how we're going to do this because I was kind of counting on Meredith for that because she's really good at it. So
Yeah,
here's
she
what
is
I've
really
got.
good at
She's
it.
good, man.
Her and her
So-
spreadsheets.
Yeah,
She loves a
yeah.
spreadsheet.
She's
That
an
girl
accountant,
loves a
man.
good spreadsheet.
So
Crazy.
I can send him half a bag of spuds. Somebody says here, good luck though. That's great. Hello, Nancy Daly from Cambridge. There's so many people here to say hello to that love the turtle. So we got some Space Force gear that we're going to. So we'll start off here. This is the official Space Force physical training gear. So this is the shirt. That's what the front looks like with the logo. And it says USSF on each shirt. The turtle actually has one of these, as does Meredith. And I'm sure I can have one for Jen Altman next time I come.
Thank
Bia
you.
has one.
Oh, I do want that.
Yep.
Yes, I would love
Th-
that.
This is the back, and this is all in reflective material. So if car headlights and all that, we'll see that.
Awesome.
These are the shorts that go with it. These are black shorts. And again, there's a reflective logo. This is the official gear. Okay. And you, the person who's donating, if you put just hashtag CAB in capital letters, hashtag CAB in your donation, Bia will be tracking that on the website on Give, Send, Go. And these are the other options you have. This is a blue shirt. This is unofficial, but cool nonetheless. This is gray. This is, you can see this is a different logo, has a big logo on the front, and then this is the black version of that shirt. So you could have any one of those colors or any one of these, and I will get you the shorts as well. In addition to that, the Calling All Beings store is also something. So let me show you guys that stuff. The Calling All Beings store is another thing that you can pick a t-shirt. So I'm giving away two things. You can pick a t-shirt and a mug, or a t-shirt and a water bottle. You get to choose.
You're
Isn't
still
that nice?
sharing your Space Force stuff.
Okay, I will unshare it as I'm looking for the link to the store.
I know. So I'm like, wait a
See how
minute.
I get kept in line here? There's no playing around.
No.
Joe Biffle wants to know if you have any Speedos.
I don't.
You can cut them into Speedos.
I don't. I want to say hi to Kristen F, though. Kristen F is a big supporter of Turtle Boy. I became friendly with her the night of I met all these guys at the Halloween party night. I met Bia. So Kristen, SD, I met all those guys that first night. I didn't meet Jen Altman, but she might have been there. So
I wasn't.
You weren't at the last
No.
Halloween party?
No. I've only been to two of the trivia nights and the comedy night for Aiden, and then that fundraiser in November for Karen that I was invited to. Those are really the only kind of functions I've been to. But sure, there'll be another one.
Yeah,
some
I think
point.
could be a really big one that everyone's going to be invited to, which could be the celebration of her acquittal, right? Calling All Beings merch store. So I'm going to put this in here for you. And so if you guys go to this link, and we can also share screen on this one here. Share screen window. And it is, so this is the cab store. And you can scroll through here. And tell me if you guys can see this. Is that large?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You can see there's two. There's the cab, the UFOs, Bigfoot, Paranormal. There's cab, True Crime Unsolved. You can pick any shirt you want and a mug or a water bottle, and that's going to be on me. Or if you want, and another person can win the Space Force stuff. So whatever
Wish
you're...
I had something to raffle off.
I had to come up with something pretty quick. So, that was Meredith's idea last time. So,
No, she texted me back and said yes to go ahead and do that. So, what is it? A poster? The same poster that she did last time, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be a poster with this on it. It is going to be a signed Turtle Boy mugshot poster. I don't
Nice.
if she can send you the image or something or send it to me on Twitter DM, I can put the exact image. It's very, very nice. Hello, Joe from Gator Creek, Georgia. There's so many cool people here. Tennessee is here. Oh, look at the legend is here.
Hey.
Sarah Shocking Horror.
So she said she'll go through Aiden's fund and log everyone, just have them write poster or calling all beings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they'll be entered.
And yeah, and so how is she going? Oh, Dean College. The pride of Franklin, Mass. Jay is from Franklin. So that's why I love to get a shout out from him. Who is look who's here. Okay, so Lauren will not be back in time. I'm sorry, Lauren. We would have loved to had you again, but hopefully we'll be able to have you on again in the future. You were delightful last time.
She's the best.
Yeah, she seems like just a really, really nice person. I guess I did meet her in person, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
She was at the
First meal
tavern
food?
on the square. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. The place we won't
One
go
of the
again.
sweetest people I've ever met.
That is, I mean, that you've met a lot of people between your time in the United States Navy and, in the medical industry. I'm sure you've run into a lot of great people. So that's what the poster will look like. Would you ask Meredith if you would? How
she just sent me.
Okay. I think someone else is backstage.
I'll text it to you.
Oh, okay. No, that's Bia. So I was like, who's backstage? No, that's Bia. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how the wheel
front
thing.
stage. I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah. How the wheel thing
I just
works.
texted it to you, DJ.
What's that?
I just texted it to you.
Okay. Thank you. Let me see. I'm trying to think of how she did it. How did she choose? I guess.
She was probably entering it in the spreadsheet, and from the spreadsheet, she got it over to the wheel.
Is that how she did it?
I believe.
Yeah.
Because that's how she was able to transfer the numbers. But what we can do is see if she can come on, next time we're on, and then she'll do the actual drawing. There I go, saying it in my message.
Drawing. I love it. That is so awesome. Jen Altman, can you please say the word drawing?
Drawing.
Oh, there.
How are you supposed to say it? Drawing? Drawing? Drawing?
That is wonderful. Someone is backstage. We just got someone. Oh, all right. We got to get a welcome for this guy right here. This is the host of the wildly popular Young Jerks show that not only covers Karen Reed, he has been a justice advocate for several years and also advocates for political change in Massachusetts. He is my friend and colleague, the one and only Mike Crawford.
Mikey.
Give me an amen for Mr. Crawford. Where's my applause? There you go. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Thank you for having me. I got to say, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, DJ and B, for hosting this. But it's an honor to be here with Jen Altman. Like all the YouTubers with tens of millions of followers, I wouldn't give two shits about them being on a show with them. Honestly, the ones who are the Johnny come latelys compared to Jen Altman, like you are an OG. You've been here from the beginning. You got doxxed. You've been harassed. You are like one of us, the locals. There's a certain band of us. And you are just amazing. I'm so glad to be here with you. I've been waiting to do a show with you. I was like thinking I wanted you on my show, and you are kind of, because we're on both channels. And so I'm happy to be here with Jen Altman.
Oh, I love you. The first time I ever met Mike, I met him at the fundraiser we went to in November. And I was talking to Nurse Kim, and I had never met Mike before, though we've chatted, of course. And I hear across the room, Altman! Altman! Just like it was a frat party.
Wow.
The Pitbull. I mean, you have a nickname from, you've had probably several nicknames from Kevin. How about Kevin?
Do. I love how Tupac.
She's badass, man.
A lead henchwoman. Capo something. Like, he's just weird. Yeah. I almost bought a Tupac Shakur shirt at Target tonight. And I was like, should I get it? Should I get it?
Yes.
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 I texted
Tupac.
Jimmy and I said, should I get it? And Uncle Frank said, you should. And I said, but what if somebody walks up to me and wants to like talk about Tupac Shakur? Like, I don't even know any of his songs. So I kind of feel.
Nor do I.
But I think I might go back and get it.
Mike probably does.
Yeah, I love Tupac. We can update. You just got to
Okay, you'll have to teach me. All right, I'll go back.
Just know a couple of the big hits, like Dear Mama. That's all. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one I thought of.
Yeah.
I've written about his mom. That's he's amazing.
So I'm gonna go back and get it.
That's what you should say. If anyone says when you get the shirt, you'd be like, I'm a Tupac fan for Dear Mama. I'm not as into the aggressive hit 'em up. And then you're cool. You don't have to worry about any of the gangster stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to write that down.
so this one could be germane to Jen. This is from Adam Tepper, Esquire, an attorney. And it says, hey, if you're not being harassed, threatened, or doxxed, you're not doing your job right.
Funny how Kevin for like the last 2 years has gone after Jen, especially, but a lot of us, me, you could call me the young jelly and all this other shit. And just the stuff he said to Jen, like, Jen, you're going to get her, you're going down, all this crap, all this, the KP stuff she said to all of us. And they're the ones, like, I worry about my friend Kevin. Like, Kev, are you in trouble? Because I heard the juror said something the other night on Aiden's show. She didn't want to say too much. And I was like, I have no idea if she is, but I was like, is she talking about Kevin? Like, is Kevin in trouble? Like, it's funny because KP's in trouble. She's got witness intimidation. She came at me saying I witness intimidated, spread all these lies. Lindsay posted the lies. It's in an affidavit. And here's KP. She's got the witness intimidation charges. It's so funny how they always project. Kevin is actually the biggest wimp of all. You got to admit, like, he got bullied by Chris Albert. He got bullied by the Proctors. That's what happened. We all know what happened. They called them. They called Kevin, and Kevin rolled over for them. Beyond the fact that he got mad at Aiden, it was also they called him. And they become friends with them. And he posts whatever they tell him to post.
He wrote something when the whole lawyer thing happened with Aiden back in January 2024. He had written that they were coming for my phone. So I once in a while I'll text or I'll post like, when are they coming? I've been waiting for 1.5 years. When are they coming? And he wrote something that I had intimidated witnesses. I've never seen a witness in the wild. I've never contacted a witness. They think that supporting Karen Read means you're intimidating witnesses because God forbid we should believe in somebody's First Amendment right or constitutional rights to a fair trial and due process. You know,
perish the thought.
That's why you just have to laugh at them when they say, you know, they're gonna sue. And Kim Fair said she's suing me.
Do one now. Now that they know that we all know we're not getting arrested.
Right.
They're the ones getting arrested. They're more likely to be getting arrested. Now that we're all getting sued.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I think it's hysterical. I think it's so funny. Just laugh at them, people. You just laugh at them.
Somebody called my 90-year-old father in Jersey and told him that I was in jail here. So, and scared the hell out of him. So yeah, so
that's the type of shit they do. Because they can't win in public opinion because Karen is innocent. Karen didn't do it. That's the bottom line. And Aiden, they've attacked Aiden. I'm so glad that we're doing this fundraiser tonight for Aiden.
Absolutely.
I'm a little bit of a high because I went to court yesterday. I hung out with Howie Carrigan yesterday with Grace Curley, and I just had the best day outside the courtroom. I saw Aiden. I saw everyone else, and the fact that he got his first case, that he won his first misdemeanor, so happy for him.
It's awesome.
Yes, that was. I sent him a message as soon as I heard that. Did I get it from you? I don't know who told me that, but when I read that, I was just so excited that something happened, and that Lindsay's story of trying to draw him in there, in collusion with. Nan is saying she can listen tonight but not join. But hello, Nan Gallagher. Thank you for being in the chat. Thank you for being a mod on Calling All Beings. You're a legend. Thank you so much, Nan. I appreciate that, Nan. did drop a dono. And by the way, we're doing a call-in show with Nan in a week or two. We're going to do the Nan. It's basically going to be an hour and a half of Nan taking calls. So y'all get geared up for that. But I'm sorry. I digress. I was very, very excited about Aiden because I know that's entrapment is what they try to do there. Is that not?
I was there on Monday when it first started, and you could tell just by looking at the judge that he knew this was bullshit. He had to go, through the motions. So I noticed that, and I noticed that, hi Laura, that Megan McCabe has very furry arms. I couldn't stop staring at them. I was sitting in court staring at her arms, and she looks like Matt McCabe in a female version. And she lied. They all lied. Lindsay lied. Paul O'Keefe, I don't think lied, but I loved when he said that he'd only spoken to Kate one time. She made it seem like they're like besties, and he's only spoken to her one time. I loved that.
Who would you, if I had to ask you who you would prefer to see in handcuffs, would it be Mike Proctor or would it be Yuri Buchanan? Look at the silence in the room all of a sudden. Tough choice.
Well, I'm ready to go. I would say Proctor.
Okay.
I honestly would say Yuri. I keep waiting to see Yuri's brother as a cop in Westboro, and I spend a lot of time in Westboro, and I keep looking for him because I want to ask him questions about his brother.
Okay, Mike, who would you proctorologist? Who would you rather see in handcuffs? Would it be?
It's gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna say it. I would just wait to see more evidence. Like, I don't have all the evidence. I don't know everything that they've done. I definitely have suspicions, but so I'd want to wait to see more evidence to see who did what, when, where, what. Like we have a lot of suspicions, so I'd love to be a federal investigator and finding out. If I had that kind of power, that would be. I hope they're investigating them. What I want to see is I want to see Yuri lose his job.
Yeah,
he harassed people.
That would be.
That's easy for me to say.
Lost his.
Yeah. It's time for Yuri to get demoted, to lose his job, the way he acted on the stand, but even beyond that, the way he harassed people with the rubber ducky stuff, driving up to Gloucester to harass this woman I know who was in recovery and mocking her about her recovery, trying to I got a vulnerable person here. Let's mock her and give her a hard time. Hopefully she'll roll on Aiden and make up lies about Aiden. That's the type of shit that they were doing. It's so obvious.
That's what they want.
Did you see him walk out of court yesterday, Mikey?
Yeah.
I can't believe. Yes, I can't believe he was there as the jurors were walking in. That is crazy.
How is he there for, too? He's got his walkie-talkie. You think he's security? The Mass State Police that stupid that they're hiring witnesses to run security at the courthouse. I believe that they probably are, because that's. I swear to God, it seems like they've learned nothing. Like, why was he there? He should be like, whoever his boss is should be screaming at him, like, why the hell are you there? You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't be there. There's no reason for him to be there. Why the hell was he there? I don't know.
And especially when you're trying to present it as the Norfolk County DA's office, it's not, and the Mass State Police are not biased and not involved. And then you go and send somebody like Yuri, who is so inflammatory to this whole entire movement.
That's right.
Bad idea.
We have
definitely.
We have some amazing comments here. I'm trying to star them all. I might have to do that slow down thing for the chat just so that we can get to some of them. I'm going to say Yuri, and the reason that I'm going to say him is because when Proctor was on the stand, I felt like he showed a certain amount of contrition. Though everything that he did was wrong, though he was involved with he was chief in framing Karen, so was his supervisor and all that. But Yuri has a certain way about him. Mike just said how he went and harassed people in Canton about the Ducks. And I think Mike has probably, as I was saying to her today, I believe that Mike has spent some nights where he had his head on his wife's lap, crying, like, I'm going to lose my retirement. I've lost my career. Why did I do this for Brian Albert? And I see Michelle backstage. So we're going to get Michelle on here in a second. And I think that he didn't go out and do the types of things that Yuri did. I think Yuri has he lied about, he disregards his oath completely, which you could say about any officer in this case, but also the oath on the stand. He lied. He said that video was an accurate representation when it was clearly a Brady violation, which should have ended in a dismissal of the case with prejudice, all these kinds of things. And then the way he carries himself as if he is the Teflon Don. So for me, I feel like I would even see more, I would even be more gratified by him being put in handcuffs because of his attitude of infallibility and invincibility, more so than Proctor, just for that reason. Does that have any resonance with anybody, or am I just out to lunch?
Oh yeah, that's totally the reason that I feel the same way about it. Just the way he carries himself, his behavior on the stand.
Yeah, Mike
he's just a bad human.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. He's one of these guys that gets into this to be able to feel like he's powerful. He can do anything he wants now. He can get away with anything. He's got the law on his side, and he's just really sickening. Got some stuff in the chat.
And I also think.
Copy.
Oh, sorry.
I would just add one thing. I would just say one thing. I'm sorry, V. I would just say one thing, so I don't lose it. It's just that he, the fact that he, harassed all these people, and then turned around with a badge and a gun and act so cocky. But then he says, him and Proctor, this is why they should never be cops. They say that they were intimidated by Aiden.
Yes.
Right.
Another lie.
With his blog. His blog intimidated them. Like that to me, that's why they shouldn't work. Any cop who is intimidated by Aidan Kearney or me or anybody else on social media or, a journalist, come on. You shouldn't be a cop if you can't handle the public scrutiny, especially from a journalist like Aiden. You shouldn't be.
And who's making him read it? Somebody sitting there with opening his eyes, making them read this article about them.
The judges, I think, agreed. Didn't they throw most of the charges from the cops out against Aiden?
Yeah, they dismissed the charge with Yuri and Proctor, but not with Proctor's wife. Which I think will be.
So even the court agreed. I mean, even the court didn't even have to spend much time and say, this is a friggin' joke. That's why I feel like Buchanan should lose his job. He's not up to stuff. A guy that acts all cocky, he's a fake tough guy. You are a fake friggin' tough guy, dude. You can't handle a blog. Come on. Right. Come on, dude. You got a badge and a gun.
And Tully, too. Scott says Tully.
True.
Yes.
Tully just does it more on the DL.
Yes.
Then Yuri is kind of out there, flashing his gun and being a tough guy. And Tully's in the background. He was the one that was on the phone with Lindsay. He's the one that had the direct line to Michael Morrissey.
We're ready we just got to get this young lady in here before, I don't want her to lose her. So if you would please, Cab audience and Young Jerks audience, party people, put those hands together for Michelle Littlefield.
Good to see you.
Hi, Michelle.
Welcome, Michelle. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I feel so special. And I get to meet Mike.
I know, dude. I got to meet him recently. It was awesome. He's great.
I'm reunited with Jen, who's one of my heroes. Love you, Jen.
Oh, Thank you. You too.
And I tuned in and I saw Bia and I went, oh shit. Look at me. I just got home from the gym. I look like a wet dish rag. And Bia looks like Miss America. Come on.
Yeah, that's every day she looks like that.
Always.
Yeah. No, you know what? You look fantastic. I saw you in person, and I'll tell you what, you and DJ, you guys are a couple lookers. That's all I got to say.
I have my own DJ.
This she does. And Yes, ma'am.
If you want to come out here for the verdict, you got a place to stay,
You know what? I thank you. I appreciate that. I am waiting till the party.
Okay.
When we have, because I've heard this from various people, and actually might be able to speak to this. I've heard tell that when this is over and she's acquitted, we could have like a gigantic party at like a hotel ballroom. Have you spoken about that, Mike, with Turtle or anybody?
I haven't, but I've heard about.
I said Gillette.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of parties. Like, I feel like obviously there might be one big party I haven't heard about, but I just hear people talking quite a bit about different things they want to do after. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of friggin' parties. I don't think there'll be just one. I think there'll be probably hundreds. I mean, yeah, it's funny because
I'll be honest. If I was Karen Reed when this is all over, I would pack my bags and get the fuck out of Massachusetts.
Yep, I would too.
But I mean,
take her parents with her.
Civil
not
suits,
not in a bad way. Just obviously,
agreed.
It's time to move on in your life and.
Well, she's going to own the state, so
I hope so.
Yeah.
There's that.
Lord, hear our prayer. And look who's here. I think. Oh, the legend is here, Dennis Sweeney.
Yes. Hi, Dennis.
Hello, Dennis.
No,
Scott
OG.
McGinnis, Sarah Shock and Horror, plenty of legends in the chat. I wanted to get a few words in about Turtle Boy. I know we did this last time, but I really don't get tired of talking about this guy in a sacrifice. But let's start, top to bottom, left to right, and let's start with Bia, and then we'll go to Jen and Mike, and then Michelle.
Well, I mean, I think he's out here fighting for our First Amendment rights. I think what they've done to him is awful. And, he deserves all the support that he can get. Journalism's not a crime, and he's the one that's putting the truths out there. And, he's a person who doesn't just go, he doesn't go on hearsay. He gets his receipts. And he's a great journalist, so we wish him all the best.
Miss Alton, thank you, Adam, for contributing. It's so awesome when we get lawyers in here because you guys, and if you can speak tonight about any remedy that there may be against the judge if there's a conviction other than appeal, obviously. Well, if there's an acquittal, is there any sort of remedy? Because I realize that an appellate, overturn could also happen if she's convicted, God forbid. Jen, what would you say about your friend Aiden?
Oh, I always have Aiden's back no matter what. And, he's just a great journalist. He's a great dad. He's had a hell of a year and a half between getting arrested, going to jail, the whole Lindsay thing, his mom dying, everything that's going on with Karen's case. It's a lot. Most people don't go through something like that in their whole life, and he's had to deal with it in the last year and a half. And I think he's going to be okay. I talked to Bradle the other day quickly, and they're feeling confident, and I just love him.
Yeah, I want to just put up on screen here. Mike, you got a new member. Amanda Erickson for 1 month has been a member of your channel. So thank you, Amanda, for signing up for the Young Jacks. Mike,
I want Aiden.
Yes.
Aiden. I am very thankful for Aiden for a lot of reasons, which I could talk about. But I think the big thing that people have to recognize, whether you like Aiden or not, whether you support him or not, whether you're a liberal like I am, there's a lot of liberals on this panel. We support Aiden.
Yes,
it
they
doesn't
are.
matter. Like, that's the thing I like
Doesn't
about Aiden.
matter.
In the end, politics really don't matter. It's about who you are, what you're doing. And the biggest thing about Aiden's case is it affects every single one of us. If you're on social media, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, if you do a YouTube show, this can affect you because they're using what they're doing to Aiden for like 10 other people, and you could be one of them next. Like, that's what they're going to do. And so we need to beat this back because this is about journalism. They targeted him because of what he wrote. And this because the people who investigated him and who are prosecuting him are the same people he exposed. So think about that. If you post something about someone in your town, maybe it's a town selectman, maybe it's the treasurer, the clerk, whoever it is, your state rep, they can now come after you. They can come after you in a lot of cases. And especially if you criticize a judge or someone who's done you wrong, you could be facing, so we need to defeat this. This is about power of journalism, speaking out, freedom of the press, all of that. We talk about, the First Amendment, all this stuff. That's what this is. If you support it, you got to support Aidan Kearney, Turtle Boy. Beyond that, the guy has broken some of the biggest stories in the state of Massachusetts, if not the nation.
Yes.
Related to police accountability. The guy they came up with a whole thing called Troopergate. You remember that one? The state police, the overtime fraud. Guess where that started? Started with Aidan Kearney. It went way beyond the Mass State Police. It went into other town police departments in Massachusetts, but all across the country. Everyone knows about payroll fraud. And the feds actually put people in jail and investigated it. It started with Aidan, a lot of this shit. So Aidan has broken story after story about judges doing things. The judge's daughter, you remember that story? He's exposed, he's exposed animal abusers over and over, like the canine. Remember that one?
I don't.
That one in the Mosaic in Worcester, the Mosaic nonprofit that was stealing state funds. Yeah.
So it's happened a lot that he's exposed things that are in the public interest to be exposed, like stuff that I am very thankful for. When I first came across Aidan, Turtle Boy, it was, he was going after people I kind of liked. And they were saying, you got to go after this guy. So I started watching him. And after a while, I realized, geez, I kind of like this guy. He's doing some good shit. I don't have to agree with his politics. I don't have to agree with the way he runs his show, and he's vulgar and all this shit. That may not be my taste, but you know what? We need somebody like that. He's reaching out to so many people, and I am so thankful that he supported me, that he came on my show, because he kind of did take a little risk coming on my show and supporting me, and it's worked out. I am very thankful for my relationship. I like him as a person. I think people get confused too that Turtle Boy is not Aidan. When you talk to Aidan, it's a different thing than actually what Turtle Boy's show is.
Yes.
And it's not like Turtle Boy's fake or anything, but it's more like it's more amped up. Turtle Boy is amped up. It has to be, and his audience wants it. It's not just him, so I get that, but people have to recognize this guy is a warrior, and people ask a lot from him. Like he's got a lot of pressure on when he goes off on people, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, I wish he didn't do that, whatever. But you know what? You don't get it. You're not in his shoes. And I get it because I get a little taste of it here and there too. And when you have so many people getting at you, it can get weird. I don't think people recognize it until you have 50,000 people following you. You just, and people always wonder why celebrities go off the deep end. I think it's sometimes because of the audience. They can't handle it. It's not an easy thing. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this ride, I got to say, except for the shit when the Mass State Police and the DA and the crusty panties were threatening me. That shit sucks. And that's why I have respect for Jen Altman, Michelle, who is here. Like, there are people who have stood up. They've put everything on the line for this. And Aidan Kearney, number one. So I got mad love, respect for Aidan. I hope everyone is throwing down tonight. It's pinned in my chat. I hope people donate. You got to donate more money to Aidan. And that's the thing. People are like, what are we going to do when Karen Reed's over? If you're not here supporting Aidan Kearney with us, I don't ever want to talk to you again. Seriously. If you've been following Reed, supporting her, and you don't support Aidan after this is over, and you don't support all these other people, there are other people still that could, be in harm's way. They're still threatening us. They're still, who knows, pressing charges. We hear this shit all the time. So you got to support Aidan. I'm sorry to go for so long, but I just,
you know what? That's one of the things that I love about you, Mike, is that you are a great speaker. You're very passionate, and you're able to put your thoughts together in a cogent way that makes sense that everybody can understand. And I agree with you.
The Turtle Boy Defense Fund just got over 180,000. So we're making some progress there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tracking that, Bia. I really appreciate that.
I got the starting numbers and everything, so I got you guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We got to up your percentage on the CAB 401k plan. Yeah. So
10% more, DJ.
You, Mike, we're gonna bankrupt this thing. All right, so I want to recognize a couple people. I want to thank your mod and my friend.
Can the mods check out somebody who's? I think they got rid of him. All right, never mind.
Yeah, I saw.
It was a troll.
It was somebody from.
It. I'm going to press the button, and Jenna got it.
Okay, I'm glad you guys got it because
my mods are so quick. By the time you speak it, it's gone. They are on it.
Some jackass.
You got to be quick when you're a mod in a busy chat.
Jenna, we only got 5 of them, and they kick ass. I just gotta say,
yeah. I told you if anybody, I messaged you. I'm like, if anybody ever drops out of your modding, I'm your girl.
There you go.
We might. I'll talk to the crew. People always ask that. It's up to the crew. We have a vote.
Absolutely,
I think you might be the one. I think you might be the one they accept. We'll see.
You're a superstar. Who wouldn't accept Jen Altman as their mod? We probably, we would pay her. But anyway, so we got 20. Sarah Shuck Horror is so awesome. 20 memberships that she gifted to CAB, and she gifted in a 10 to Young Jerks. So thank you, Sarah, for being such an awesome supporter as you are, and such just a generally awesome person. And there's one other thing that I wanted to say. And I starred this. This is from the attorney that's here, named. This is Adam Tepper. Please tell me if I'm saying your name correctly, because normally that would be 2 P's for Tepper. But so unfortunately, with Bev as the highest Norfolk Superior, it's up to the CJC. That is the. Is that? I thought it was SJC. I thought Supreme Judicial Court, but anyway.
Some sort of committee.
Okay, yeah, okay. And most of their investigative process is not public. So other than lawsuits against the trial court, Bev is complicated. This is what I've heard. I can't even explain it as a layperson of what, but it just seems like she has an extreme amount of top cover. I don't think we were aware of that prior to this happening.
Committee for Judicial, he just put it on there.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, I appreciate it. We got another. Thank you very much, Kylo Bear, for 10. I appreciate that. You could definitely donate. You all can donate to Aiden instead of super chat tonight. It is very kind of you, but we are raising money for him. But what I was going to say is I don't think, and please give me a head nod or I didn't know, or yes, I knew this, but I didn't realize the oversight that isn't on an entity like the state police and we talked about this last episode, when you don't have, like Georgia has a Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Colorado has a Bureau of Investigation that can oversee like the state trooper element or entity. And in this case, like something like a Superior Court judge, did you guys realize how little oversight they had? Or is that something that's only new to me, but perhaps not to you?
No, I knew that. I mean, it's been a decades-long issue. The Mass State Police, the only one that they answer to is the governor or the chief of public safety. You know, so like, and whose boss is the governor? So it's like, yeah, it's and they, the governor covers their ass. The governor doesn't want a scandal, so that's the way they begin away with it. The thing that kind of shocked me, I think, is about the way they embed these people within the DA's office.
Right.
And so it creates even more on accountability, because now the employee like Yuri Buchanan, is he working for Morrissey or is he working for the state police? It's like he can kind of play them off each other. And some of the former state police in the state have doing that.
Yeah, Emily D. Baker said that in Los Angeles County, where she was an attorney, they don't have that. So
don't. That's like most states do not. Yeah. Most states have, the DA has their own investigators. Yeah. They don't have state police. So usually they're separated. And a lot of times there's different ways they have separation, like you said, oversight. The new thing that we have in the state that's kind of positive, the only good thing, is the post commission. That's new. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I know one of the guys who actually helped push that. create that. So it's weird how we had nothing here until even the post commission. So at least we have that where we can decertify bad cops because that's due to us.
That's good.
Coffee cake. No, we don't have sheriffs here. And we
Hey, there's
chief
somebody.
of police.
We have sheriffs, but they don't do police work. Well, all they do is serve
Right.
warrants
Serve
and
warrants and things like that.
run the jails. They run the prisons.
Right.
There's
They run the
there's a Mikey triple R that needs to get bounced from here. This jackass right here. So if you guys can get rid of him, mods, Mike's mods, because I can't kick him out. So
he's already gone.
Good.
You don't see him when they're gone. Like
okay, yeah, because I'm too far behind.
So I wouldn't even bother noting it. My nods take care of it. You don't have to.
They got it.
You're all over it like gravy on rice over there. Can you, Michelle? Maybe you could say some words about the turtle before he shows up here, and then we can just, heap praise on him in person and see if we can. We'll try to get him to blush. We'll do our best. Oh, you're on mute, my dear.
Yep, I know. Because I had to yell at the dogs. I didn't know he was coming too. That's wild. So agree 100% with everything everyone has said. He's an amazing journalist. I've followed him for a long time. My big thing is not only was he basically framed too, he was entrapped. He was colluded against. You want to talk about conspiracy? Can we just talk about conspiracy for a minute?
Please.
How many people have been involved in the conspiracy against Turtle Boy? And not only him, but the Canton Nine, Rich Schaefer. The list goes on and on and on. All these people that have been kind of colluded against. And I think my big thing is it's, and I don't want to say we give a pass to police, but it's not uncommon that there's police corruption. I think we've heard about it quite a bit. But what bothers me is that it's seeped into the district attorney's office. It has most definitely seeped into the courthouse. I saw it firsthand.
You would know that, yeah.
For 7 years on a daily basis. And once this is over and I'm done, worrying about and actually once the conspiracy charges were dropped against Aiden, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be dropped against Janelle too, that kind of wipes out any concerns I've had for the last 2 years about them coming after me or anything like that. So,
because I wonder about that. Janelle, I hear different things. Have they actually been dropped against her or not?
Not yet. Not yet. But they've postponed her arraignment multiple times. Honestly, they didn't even do anything about her case until Aiden's attorneys brought it up in March, literally days before the 1 year statute was going to expire. And then they set her up for arraignment, and then they canceled the date, and then they put it out in the future. And they're kind of leaving her hanging. But this goes back to when the Canton Nine had their hearings at the clerk's office in Stoughton. They held back that decision for 9 months. And when the day that decision came out, I was immediately, and just for the record, I use Signal, just saying.
Well, who does? Yeah, what's wrong with Signal?
Right?
I've used it for years. It's like
it goes up my butt that they kept making a big deal about that. Anyone who's not using it, frankly, I'm concerned for you.
Yeah. How many apps do we use?
I was right on there with Meredith that very same day as soon as she posted it, and they were all celebrating that they had, that the charges had been dismissed or whatever. The whole thing was being wiped out. And I immediately messaged her and I said, you realize that they used that case to control all of you for months and months and months. And she said, well, they had, how do you know when they made the decision? I'm like, lower left corner. Do you see where it says date? See how it's blank? They whited it out. That decision was made within days. And personally, I know how it works because I was there for 7 years. Those decisions are made before the clerk walks out of the courtroom because they're afraid they're going to forget what happened. Unless it's a big thing that it was a hearing that lasted hours and had a lot of witnesses and testimony or whatever. They write their notes immediately after you walk out of the room because they do so many hearings in a day, they're not going to remember it. So I know for a fact, and maybe they didn't make it that day, but they would have made it right away within a few days. This they might have remembered above some of the other hearings that they have, but to sit on that piece of paper for 9 months for those 9 people was nothing more than Lauren Petrino Green using her power as the clerk magistrate to make those people squirm and to control their behavior, to control their speech for 9 months.
Yeah, so many of them, so many times, because I talked to them. They wouldn't come on shows. They wouldn't go to events. And I understood. I was like, you're smart.
I agree.
Like, and that's what it was about. It's about shutting them up, silencing their speech. Again, this is what the message of tonight about Aiden is. This is not about people doing crimes. This is about silencing people, shutting us up because they don't like what we're saying about them, what we're exposing about them in court, what we're exposing about them at the DA's office in the Mass State Police. So, Michelle, I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't realize that they decided it right away. That makes total sense too.
Yeah. So, what happened in my situation was a matter of a public record being released from the Stoughton District Court and getting into the hands of Aidan Kearney. They could never prove who sent who what. They had a lot of circumstantial evidence, whatever. But they would do anything to silence me because I was someone who would speak out. I didn't put up with the shit. I didn't like what was going on. I was pretty vocal about it. It cost me my job, and I'm okay with that because, frankly, I sleep better at night. I'm not, my husband, I wasn't out of there 2 weeks, and my husband said, as scary as the situation we were in was at that point, I wasn't coming home every day like a raging bitch, like screaming and bitching about people who don't do their jobs, people who get paid between $150,000 and $200,000 a year and don't even show up, like literally don't even show up for days and weeks on end, or may show up for an hour or two and leave for the rest of the day. It was a joke.
So and it was they're like Bev. They're like Judge Bev, like work a couple hours and then, let's take an hour and a half lunch and then go home. Yeah. Go home early. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. That kind of public servant.
Yes.
Not the kind that's going like, how can I make things better?
Right. And there was a lot of things that were going on, when certain people were speaking out about certain people in Canton, and there were certain attorneys sending threatening letters to some of these just everyday citizens. And I'm laughing. I'm like, you guys, first of all, that attorney, as well known as he may be, doesn't get a lot of work done on his own because he spends 80% of his day in the Stoughton District Court, in the Assistant Clerk Magistrate's office, up his ass, figuring out how his cases are going to go before that clerk. So he doesn't really do his legal work, so to speak. He's not like in his office getting the job done. He's actually, greasing the palms, down the hall so that his cases go his way. But it was kind of a joke to see all these players and how they were trying to use the court and use their position either as attorneys or as clerk magistrates or whatever to basically, like Mike said, silence people. They were threatening people with lawsuits. They were doxing people, throwing things out on the internet. It was ugly. But it was all to control people. And it's kind of sad that, like I said, I think we're a little more familiar with the police corruption. I think people are it's more in your face. You hear about it more. When you realize how deep it goes into the district attorney's offices and into the courts systems, I mean, it's
a scary part.
Seriously, it's scary and we need an overhaul.
I expected it for the DAs and the police, but I didn't expect what you're saying, that the courts, and it totally makes sense because they are politically appointed, that they have a lot of no-show jobs. I don't know, I kind of keep it close, but I have some political family, let's put it that way, from the past that were in courts, elected, let's say that. And I had a lot of friends too. And that's exactly how these courts work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
These people, they give the donations, they hold the right sign, and then they get the job in the district court. And it's once that happens, it never changes. Like someone doesn't get in there dishonestly and then decide to be an honest broker,
Right.
So, and it's funny because like one of my family members once asked a judge asked them to sign off so they could get like they want to go to an appeals type position. They were like, "No, you're lazy. You don't show up to work. Why am I going to sign your paperwork, put my name on it, my reputation to get you even a better job? You shouldn't even have the judgeship you have now." So that stuff.
And it's hysterical, Mike. If you ever watch those those hearings for the governor's council, they're hysterical. I would love to do a commentary with you someday on some of them because
we should.
If you knew the real truth about these judges, and I die laughing. There was one clerk magistrate in the Stoughton District Court. Nobody could stand her. She never showed up for work. She was extremely loud. So the judges and the other like probation departments, they couldn't stand her. But yet they wanted to move her to another court. So in order to get rid of her, they all went to the judge's council and wrote and said all these glowing things about her. And I'm like, what? But they just want, their lifetime appointments, and they're not going to get fired unless there's something really egregious. So
there's a lot of dirt there. It seems like in the court system,
yes,
in the police, you need like some sort of industrial strength shop vac. But you know what? We can't go any further without welcoming our guest who showed up here, and I didn't want to keep him backstage. So let's give a hearty cab welcome from my man, James Jackson.
You know that James Jackson is probably one of the only people I've never spoken to.
I think
so.
Oh
my God. Let's make it happen. Let's do a Hollywood Squares. Go ahead.
Yeah, Hollywood Squares. I
fangirled him.
Long time no see, James.
I know, right, Bea?
Well, nice meeting you.
I met Rita for the first time yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So I guess maybe Monday you and I will meet, hopefully.
Yes.
Meet Rita.
Are you going down there, Jen? You going down there Monday?
Yes.
Me too. I'll see you down there
in the afternoon. I've got to work in the morning, but yeah, I'll be down there in the afternoon.
I got a couple things I want to say to Terry. I don't think John thinks that Karen's guilty. I don't think Kevin thinks Karen's guilty. And obviously the affidavit that was submitted that highlighted KP. I also said that she doesn't think Karen's guilty, which I've been saying from the beginning. I said that to Mike, like one of the early times that he was on Cab. They're doing this because it's a means to an end, to become popular, to have a popular show, to be the dissenting opinion. But even as they act stupid, but they're really not stupid, and they know that she's also innocent. Also want to catch one thing here.
John DiPietro is stupid.
Then maybe he could be the one. I want to say something here about Signal, and I want to make this clear because I've used Signal for 4 years now. My show uses Signal, even my squadron uses Signal. That is not an official way for government people to communicate government things to one another, policy things. You don't use Signal or WhatsApp and there's other mediums out there for official communication. For personal communication, it's fine. And I use it.
It makes it discoverable. Even if they're using it, and it's found out, it makes it all discoverable. Now it's hard to find, it's hard to, because it's encrypted, but a lot of people, if you notice with Signal, they set it to go away after an hour or 2 hours, but a lot of people forget to do that.
Yeah.
So
true, but the point is, you don't use it for official governmental communication.
I think he's talking about
for that.
When the Trump people, the Trump people actually did use it, though. That's I think what they're.
I'm just saying, as somebody who's been in government, you don't use it for official communication. That's wrong. Or WhatsApp or any program. You use it for personal communication between people. So you don't communicate with like the president of Ireland about policy through Signal. That's what I'm saying.
The app thing, I use them all. Instant Messenger.
Signal. Yeah, me too, Mikey. I got them all messages coming in from every angle. It's like, at this point.
And Rich is here from Scotland. I'm from Scotland and thinking, fuck me. What's going on there? In Canton? So anyway, I had to get in at least one Scottish tonight. So anyway, back to the lecture at hand. What we were talking about, James, is kind of like giving our thoughts about what Aiden, his contribution, and what he's meant. And other than you and myself, everybody else has gone. What are your thoughts about Aiden? What was your sort of on ramp to Turtle Boy, and what are your thoughts?
Well, first I say huge. He's a huge asset to this whole Karen Reed movement. I hate to call it a movement, but you know what I mean. Movement. Just speaking with the facts, keeping the truth out there, letting it be, you know, not being afraid to speak up, because there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that, you know, we were just talking about this earlier, how the sneak gets away if you don't call them out. And it's like Brian Higgins, how he got away from, I don't want to get off the topic, but we were just comparing it to that, how he basically gets away, Brian Albert gets away, Colin gets away. But yeah, Turtle Boy he stepped on their necks the whole time, you know, he just kept it coming, and they did some shady shit to him, like how they tried to set up the fake witness. I didn't really get to hear too much what was going on that day with his case, but I skimmed through some of it. And I got to see Turtle Boy yesterday and congratulate him and everything. And, you know, a win's a win. And it was good to talk with him and stuff. But, yeah, Turtle Boy's he's a big asset to the Karen Reed movement. And now to his own.
No question. Yeah. I mean, like now, you know, as Mike said so adroitly, we have to now be there to defend him if Karen is successful, and we can get into, you know, Bia can take us through her thoughts on what some of the motions are, including what happened relative to the exclusion or the separation of the DUI from the lesser includeds that they were part of, and how what implications that might have, and then the rest of the panel can give their thoughts. But yes, I agree with you, James, and we'll certainly laud some praise on him when he pops in, which will be sometime before his show. We got about another half hour or so. So please, if you have the financial bandwidth to go to Give, Send, Go, it's pinned at the top of the chat, and donate something to Turtle Boy's Defense Fund. I don't know what the count, if we're at 18 now or if we're at 17 indictments, but anything will help. It's hugely expensive, and the state has obviously shown their propensity to try to bankrupt people. And so we certainly want to try to help Aiden out in that endeavor. This is his business. And frankly, I'll just roll into my little soliloquy here. He has put his ass on the line here. Aiden cannot walk away from this case. Anybody else that is on the screen right now could turn around and never talk about Karen Reed again and never care if they wanted to. He cannot. He and Karen Reed, their fate is tied together. This is a guy, you know, Mike's a wrestler. I'm a scrub wrestler. You know, there's a certain amount of courage that goes into that. Aiden is a man of courage. Aiden went to what's that scrub bar in Canton? Is it called the Hillside? I don't know.
CF McCarthy's.
No, the one where
he went
Brian
to
Albert
Hillside.
supposedly hangs out at, and he went there not that long ago. And it's a different thing if anybody on the screen, save for probably Mike, would probably be, but a lot of us could walk in there anonymously, you know. But when Aiden goes in there, I mean, if any of the McAlberts, I'm sorry, he's a target, right, James?
Yeah, he's a target.
Any of the McAlberts are going to immediately do a 180. It's going to be like this kind of Hollywood-esque country bar where the city guy walks in and then the music stops and everybody, it would almost be like that. But he doesn't care. He has no fear of these people. And what pisses them off, and what you guys alluded to earlier with Jackass Yuri walking through the crowd like a big tough guy, trying to intimidate the jury and intimidate people, right? Trying to look tough, is they want to instill fear in you. What pisses them off is that Erica Walsh isn't scared. She doesn't fear you. And Turtle Boy doesn't fear you. He doesn't give a shit how much power you have. Okay? He's not scared of what you can do to him. And that's what I love about the guy, is that he's willing to put himself, his security, and his safety on the line for a woman that he didn't even know. that I don't even know. And I don't care to know her or not know her. But the cause is so worthy. And he's the one that recognized it and brought it to the public first. And that's why I support this guy. And that's why I would ask you to take $5 or $2 or whatever you have and donate to this guy's defense fund. Please. Please. What we have to give away, I'll show you again, anything from the Cab Bird store, any t-shirt that you want, a mug, a water bottle, plus all this Space Force gear. Where the hell is this here? Any of these right here. You just let me know what your size is, which one you want, what style. Those are the official shorts. These are the shirts. And you will have, one of you will win the Space Force stuff. One of you will win the Cab stuff. And I am more than happy to do that for the turtle because I saw what he's done. So I'll shut up now. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say the trolls are out tonight. It's fun. It's I'm
it.
just watching because usually like it's funny. We might like have one of them every once in a while come in the stream. Tonight I watched like 3 or 4 of them and instantly they get blocked. But it's funny because they're going after James. James,
they're getting me now.
When the trolls are going after you, that means
God damn
you've done great work. Like amazing. So I want to give James applause.
I appreciate it.
You are something. You're impressive. They
these
came
trolls,
out of the woodwork today. They came out of the woodwork. They don't last. Literally, they're there for 2 seconds, and my mod's like, boom.
I mean, anything to do with Aiden, they come out. They're definitely coming out. Anything to do with Karen, they usually come out, but mostly him, they're coming at him. But they're coming at me now, so like I guess a good thing, right?
Welcome to the club, James. Welcome.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
You got their attention.
Yeah,
exactly. People like you, James. You're good looking, so they're pissed off. So what are they? And
James is a very handsome man.
Yes.
Turbulence in the chat. I've seen JFK in it.
Easy to like too. That's the thing they don't like. When you're easy to like, they get very mad. They get very mad.
And anybody that I met yesterday, I just want to say that was really it felt really nice to just be, to meet people and be told, we appreciate what you guys do. It was just nice meeting everybody.
Oh, JFK's in the building. Where is that guy? I didn't see him. Hi, JFK. And here's another one. I love James. It's like, I'm going to tell you what, man. The people's choice. This guy right here. I'm easy not to like.
That's why they're so mad. Look at them.
Exactly.
They're so mad. And now they can't comment. They see all the.
Jesus.
You're blocked. You can't come back.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. There's
but
another
he's getting
one.
the love too. I was gonna say it's not just hate; it's a lot of love in there too. So that's what you got to take away.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been seeing.
There's way more.
That's what makes them mad. That's what makes them mad. So many people love it.
James, they wanting you to do a Scottish accent. Do you do a Scottish accent?
I really don't do accents. No.
Yeah,
I don't do accents. I mean, no, I can't do that.
Karma Dharma usually, I don't know if they asked me to do Irish or British accent. There's a couple different. I really got to work on my Cockney, like my East London accent.
You got to work on your what? What is Cockney, it called?
There's a section of the tough section of London where the rough people live is called the Cockney accent.
Okay.
The English tough guys. Yeah, English street.
So Aiden's the woman that's really behind Aiden's brand is named Laura, and she lives in London. And so I get to talk to her. Yep. So Laura.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see.
She runs his store. She is like his right hand girl, and she's amazing. I've never met her. I mean, he's never met her in person either, but they've formed a relationship over several years, and I love listening to her talk when we call each other sometimes on Messenger.
Well, do her accent.
Beautiful.
Can you?
I can't do that.
This is more like this, Jan. What's going on with Turtle Store? Is he making a little money? Is he? Is he a little bit lacking?
She doesn't call him Turtle though. She calls him Aiden.
Hey, we can change our promotional strategy if we must.
So, she just sent me a funny video today.
Oh man, we're getting lots of love here, man. Oh, this was our recent. I want to alert Mike and James of this young lady. This was a trauma ICU nurse named Andrea. Andy School is her tagline. We had her on to talk about John's injury, and she's like gone to all the seminars with all the doctors for these sort of traumatic injuries because of working in ER and ICU. So she was phenomenal. She was a great guest. So
she should have
Aidan
been
School.
on Nurse Kim's when we did Nurse Kim's stream on the injuries.
Yeah, I didn't know her. We met her like a few weeks ago. Yeah. But
That's
great
awesome.
guest.
Anybody in healthcare that when somebody asks me, like when what's his name interviewed me for Aiden's the podcast, Phelpsy, he only played one part of it, which was what led you, what made you believe that the first thing that she was not guilty. And I said a lot of it had to do with the beginning with the Hoslong to die in the cold. And he clipped that. It made it seem like, brought it into that we were a cult and that we were relying on this Google search that didn't happen. But what he didn't put in the podcast was that I really said it was the injuries, being a respiratory therapist for 27 years, working in trauma, level 1 trauma, seeing people who are hit by cars, intubating people that look like hit by cars. They don't look like John O'Keefe. So anytime anybody is thinking back and saying, could I have been wrong? Because we've all thought it. And if somebody says they haven't, I don't believe it. Could I be wrong? Could this have happened? You kind of want to look at it from the other side. Just look at the injuries. And that's the one thing that was proven in trial number 2 was that the injuries simply don't match no matter what way you twist it.
That's it. Yeah, the injuries and the damage to the car do not match.
It just doesn't match.
Anytime I questioned, I always came back to that. I would say I want to give that woman some advice about the hangups. If they're calling you like that, let it go to voicemail. Hopefully they leave a voicemail, and then you send it to someone like me, and I'll air it on my show, and they'll stop calling. Because I had a guy calling me over and over and over again, and that's what I did. And I think I know who it is actually, but as soon as I put the voicemail on my show, no more phone calls. So let them leave a voicemail. Don't answer.
Dig it. That's a good idea. Yeah, some jackass sent me. I think me and Mike both got these emails. They sent me 5 emails about JFK and James talking all kinds of crap. And and I just said I replied back to them. I believe it's a certain content creator. So I replied back, thanks, content creator person name. And then they said, I'm not her, but I do like her. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. You're not. Okay. What else is here? Annie wants me to do Liverpool, which is really hard to do the Scouser accent. I really have to like put my brain in Scouser mode. The Irish accent is rather easy to do, Miranda Mahan, because I've been practicing that one a lot. But the Scousers, it's a little bit different. How's that one? Is that all right? Yeah.
Are you Irish? Yeah.
Are you an Irish pirate?
No.
Who, me?
Are you Irish?
I'm an Italian Jew. So
I'm taking offense to that. I'm Irish. I'm taking offense, DJ.
They're taking offense to that. Come on, Crawford. Calm down over there, brother.
You're going after my heritage, my family.
No, I'm not going after your heritage. Is all. We do accents on this show, for Christ's sakes.
Calm down.
Yeah. What else would I want to do? So let's talk about kind of like the latest and just get a couple thoughts on that. Plus, there's a huge Sandra Birchmore thing. We're hoping to get Suzanne and Trisha on coming this week to talk about that. But why don't you kick it off, Bia, with kind of things, maybe it's the DUI, whatever you feel like talking about that kind of that the jury would be deliberating upon.
I mean, obviously, I feel that this is going to come back as a not guilty. I mean, I think the defense, the last count was 20 items as Jackson was given his closing arguments showing reasonable doubt. So the right thing is for them to come back with a not guilty Monday afternoon while Jen and I are out there and James. I
think it's really interesting when I took a look at the jury slip. that, and I hadn't realized that they added the single misdemeanor DUI. Mm-hmm. And I think that's terrible because one, could you imagine they spent millions of dollars over 3.5 years and they walk away with a simple misdemeanor DUI. And I think they put it on there because of Ronnie, the juror, who said, that they were stuck on the drinking and driving thing. They really had a problem with that. But DUI carries a 2.5-year prison sentence, possibly in Massachusetts. So I don't think she'll be found guilty on it, but you have to wonder why they put it there. Are they willing to do anything just to put Karen Reed in prison?
But I think that was a request of the defense, though. So that was at the request of the defense, no?
Yeah.
I mean, the reason is if they're stuck on trying to convict her on anything, then the OUI would be the safest, right? Because if
but it still has a prison term.
Correct.
If,
right.
She could sentence her up to 2.5 years. Nobody gets convicted of prison term on a first offense.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody. I mean, 6 months probation and loss of license. That's the most typical first time. I got.
It's actually a year. It's actually a year probation.
Maybe. For me, it was 6 months because that was so long ago.
Oh, for me, it was a year. Yeah.
But don't forget, these jurors have been looking at the O'Keefes across the way from them. And if there's a holdout, they don't want another mistrial. They'd rather them split the baby and get an OUI instead of a murder charge. So I think that was done strategically, and I think that that was put on there just in case there's holdouts, so that we don't get another mistrial and we get at least they can at least look at the O'Keefes across the way and say they got something. They got some kind of a win, which obviously it's not going to change anything, but still, I mean, I think.
Yeah. And I bet Karen would get her license right away because she's not had a license for already 2 years. So if it's a 1 year loss of license, she gets her car back, she gets her license back, she moves on with her life. She maybe goes to see a probation officer once a month.
Might have to blow into some breathalyzer thing in the car to start it. Who knows?
It's very appealable because it says specifically that she had a BAC of 0.08 and they never took it. And the extrapolation isn't going to cut it on an appeal charge, even misdemeanor. So they didn't take her. They don't know if she had 0.08 when she was driving. She could have gone home and done a couple shots of, whiskey when she got home and fallen asleep and woken back up again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I have to agree with my co-host here. I mean, it just seems like you have to give them an out, it's kind of like having like that, pressure cooker, and you got to have the little valve on there to bleed off some of that pressure. If that's the route they take. Now, other people have said that Bev could sentence her to the max to the 2.5 years. And would does anybody, Mike, do you think that she wouldn't, or what's your thoughts on that?
No way. I mean, if she does that, there'll be so much of an uproar. I just don't buy that she's going to do that.
She's a candidate for probation.
Yeah.
She's shown over the last 3.5 years.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, I'm not a lawyer, but if she did the max, I just wonder if that's not appealable somehow too. Because like that is not the standard. We all know.
Right.
I mean, that's what you get if you actually kill somebody with a car. Usually I know people, kids growing up.
Yeah.
One of the kids that, we coach. I didn't really coach him, but I coached at the team the next year. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the previous year, a kid had killed somebody drunk driving, right?
Yeah.
And he got 2.5 years. Like that's what you get. That's what you get. You get 2.5 years if you kill someone drunk driving. So I'm not buying it. I'm not. That would be like,
Yeah, I don't think that would happen to Karen.
And if it's not a not guilty, then this. I mean, you would rather have a murder charge or an OUI? I get why they strategically did this. So
I think it's a great plan.
I was just nervous about Bev. That was the only thing I was nervous about.
Me too.
That's all.
I don't trust
anything else.
Yeah, she took an oath. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead, sir.
No, I get that. I agree. I mean, none of us trust Bev, but I feel like she's not that crazy. She's not that stupid. Like,
yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you for talking me down a little bit.
Yes, praise be the Lord. Yeah,
well,
I mean,
let me throw you back up on a ledge there.
Oh
Jen.
God, yeah.
Oh no.
Let me ask
Go
you
ahead.
guys on, and Mike, I think you, if anybody was going to remember it, it's going to be you. Do you remember back in maybe the early to mid 90s, there was a case in Boston. It was the nanny trial, Louise Woodward.
Yes.
Yes.
Gerard McInerney was the
I do remember
DA.
that.
Yeah.
I remember
So
that. Yeah.
obviously that tells you how long I've been like wicked into the law and trial watching and all that. But do you remember what the judge did when the jury came back with a guilty verdict?
just let her go.
I almost hate to say this out loud, but
Please.
I said this to my husband. I have a core group of friends that
Didn't she reverse it?
Yeah, it was a male judge, and he reversed it. And I said to my crew that we were doing some talking about cases recently, and I said, what are the chances that the jury comes back all not guilty, and Bev says
she can't do that.
They said that
you can't do it.
She cannot do that. No,
that's different. That's
different from not guilty to guilt. She could not do that.
That's not the same thing.
Flip the other way.
Nope.
No.
You not flip the other way. No way. No way. Once a jury decides on guilt, or not guilty. So, but that's different. Like, if they convicted her on evidence that wasn't presented in court, the judge could actually throw out the charges after. Absolutely. So
I've seen it happen that way, like in the Matthew Eapen case. But I was like, wait a minute.
But they can't go the other way.
You just see how she behaves on that bench with every single little thing. I just think
the end of her career if she tried to do something like that.
But you see, it's the people that just don't believe in an oath. I took an oath to do this. I say, screw that. I'm not going to do this.
I saw it every day.
You see it every day. And when you were at the Stoughton District Court, you see it in the police officer. I took an oath to do this, but I'm going to do that because there's a blue line crap. Then the judge said, I'm going to be the most basic part of being a judge is being a neutral arbiter of the case, just to make sure that the case runs and everybody's treated fairly. And as Betterow said on Mike's show the other day, the Constitution is clear. It's tilted towards the defendant against the government, but she does not get that. She refuses to comply with the charge of a judge. Refuses. How do you not, when the whole thing is about an investigation that was purposely flawed, and they say they want to bring in an expert investigator who happened to have been in the FBI? How do you say no? Oh, well, you can just cross-examine them. Yeah, and like what they said on that stream yesterday, and probably Betterow said that on your show, they just say, oh, well, no, I'm sorry. This was per procedure. Well, how is this your procedure? Well, it's just the way we do it. And we know they're lying, but taking the oath of, do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. And then they go up and just start a string of lies that can last 3 hours. I just, this is why I don't watch the trial. I have to get it third person because I can't watch them sit up there and lie. They have no honor. They have no oath. They have no code. They have no ethics. And as Alan Jackson said, are you without shame, sir? Yes, they are.
They absolutely are.
That's why I like watching it while I'm walking dogs. It's easier. It keeps me calm. But I got to say that Devers stuff, there was a comment. I saw a super chat come in about Devers, like in the Boston police. Like that is wicked shady. You're right. Like there's so much shadiness going on here. And the fact that the Boston media and the rest of them, like the governor, the post commission, they should all be looking into that.
Right.
Like they brought this first year employee in to meet with the police commissioner.
And
that's something
nobody
not right
else
about that.
Closed door.
Yeah. And we heard what was testified to. That's
never
shady.
happens.
That is so shady.
Never would
Where's the
happen
Boston media?
again.
I want to thank TG for $9.99. Thank you so much. And I'm going to read this one out. I can do, and Shannon McHugh wants me to do the East London, so I'll try this in a Cockney. Am I correct that AJ in his close asserted that the corruption by the Boston Police Commissioner, R.E. Officer Devers, whatever her boy name is, maybe indirectly, but we support you and do the right thing. So anyway, that was my best.
Make sure you get her name right, or you will be told.
Shannon
TG.
TG.
I said T-O-double-G. Sorry, I was adding a little Snoop in there. I love Snoop.
Put a little to her name.
Okay.
I was saying, don't say Dever, say Dever.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Just saying, just get the name right. That's all I meant.
Yeah, we'll purposely say her name wrong now. I mean,
her job depends on it.
Kelly D.
Am I correct that he asserted Boston Police Commissioner, maybe indirect, we support you and do the right thing? I did not hear the closing, so I don't know if you guys did and can answer this.
Talking about when she testified, she told us that she was called up to his office, and he told her to do the right thing, and then she retracted her statement from the FBI saying it was a false memory. Mm-hmm. So, but that's the thing. Usually, there's a chain of command. You wouldn't go all the way up to the commissioner's office by yourself as a first-year rookie. So that's what they're, that's what they're alluding to.
Party people, put your hands together for Maza Media.
Hey.
Welcome, Maza. How you doing,
How you doing, DJ? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well today.
I am, sir. Welcome. We were just talking about whether or not it was the Dever situation. Yeah, I mean it's very, very unusual, I would say, for a rookie cop to go and speak with the commissioner unless you're trying to do something shady. My question to the panel would be, why is the Boston police not trying to find some sort of legitimate justice for John O'Keefe? Why is it that they're in the Brian Albert camp? Did John O'Keefe not pay his union dues? I mean, what happened? Did he not leave his lunch in his locker too long and it smelled? What happened?
I think there's probably smoke and fire. You know what I mean? Like if people start looking into things, I have a feeling some more shit's going to get exposed about the Boston Police Department and how they run. And it's interesting about this Michael Cox, the police commissioner who had the hearing. If you know his history, he was a drug cop chasing a suspect undercover. Black man, Michael Cox. Several white Boston police officers spotted him, thought he was the suspect, beat the crap out of him, left him for dead. They broke his, he almost died from the beating that they gave him. When they realized he was a Boston police officer undercover, his fellow white police officers left him out in the cold to die. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Oh, that was the guy that sued. Okay.
Yeah. And he didn't tell on anybody, but he eventually sued, kept his mouth shut. So if anybody knows about the thin blue line, it's Michael Cox. And he has been rewarded for it. If you think about it, like he basically didn't rat on his fellow police officers, even though he sued and got paid out.
Well, what do you attribute that to? What do you attribute that to, Mike?
The gang mentality that, this is a gang. Police act, they're not every police officer is a part of the gang, but the police gang, there's certain gangs in LA, they're like official. They officially have gangs in the police department. I don't know if it's in Boston, it seems like there's certain groups of police officers that gang up and do shady shit and cover for each other, and the rest of the good police officers have to either shut the hell up or get their job. Because you can't mess with City Hall when it's
Is Mike breaking up or is it just me? Sorry,
he is. Yeah, Mike, your audio's gone south.
I hear you, Mike.
For some reason, brother.
Yeah.
Test. Can you give us a good sound check?
I think I'm fine. I was like,
you're back.
we go.
Now.
You're back. That's good.
All right.
Real quick, there is the Give, Send, Go for Aiden Turtleboy Kearney. It is also pinned to the top of the chat, and the mods can also throw it in there if you're having trouble finding it. You can also Google Turtleboy Defense Fund, and it'll come up with this Give, Send, Go. Please, if you can find it, and if it's in your financial bandwidth to help out, please do. This warrior of the movement. And you know what? We're gonna have to pick out some people. Do you want to do the raffle when Meredith does it, or on Wednesday? Is that what your goal is?
Yeah, yes, I think we should. Yeah,
okay.
I think we should, because that way she can put all the names in her spreadsheet, and then we'll do the raffle for the her poster and then your 2 items. So
yep, we've got Space Force gear. You're going to be able to get one of these t-shirt shorts.
What happened?
And then also you can pick 2 items from the cab store as well, if you want to pick something from the cab store, of which I can throw that in the chat again, like a t-shirt and water bottle, t-shirt and mug. And so we'll be giving away a total of 3 items. And yeah, at random, doesn't matter how much you donate, can be $1, whatever, you'll be entered in if you so choose. Maza Media, sir, did you have anything you want to say first about Turtle Boy, and then kind of about deliberations or the ending of the case, closing arguments, etc.?
Well, first of all, I wanted to bring up Jen Altman, who's on this program, and mention this simple fact about her. She's not rude. They've been saying she's rude. She's not rude. She's necessary. She just says exactly what needs to be said. And quite honestly, she reminds me a lot of Tupac Shakur.
Oh. Yeah, let's get it right here. Jen Altman.
I love Maza.
We got to start off with that.
References.
She's so loved.
Absolutely. I think I met everybody here. Michelle, I've never met you before, I don't believe, but I just wanted to say hello. Hope you're doing well.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. James, I just met you for the first time in person yesterday. That was great, brother.
It was nice
meeting you and JFK.
Too, likewise.
Yep, absolutely. And then Beatrice, great seeing you again yesterday. And then Mike, of course, it's always great seeing you, man. Definitely awesome catching up with you for the first time in a long time. And then DJ, we gonna get you here in Massachusetts soon, or what's coming?
Yes, sir.
Coming next week?
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for you guys to plan a celebration, a big celebration after acquittal, and that's when I'm coming. I can't come next week. I just had a partial knee replacement I'm working on.
Oh, wow.
I'm rehabbing. I'm getting pretty good, but I would like to wait so that we could come and all celebrate together.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. So, have I been on mute this entire time?
No, sir. We're hearing every word.
My mic was on mute. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, perfect. My mic was on mute. I'm like, why was it on mute the entire time? Unless I just tapped it by accident. But hey, let's talk about Karen Reed just for a quick moment. It needs to end. And that's all I really need to say. Like, for me at this point, I woke up this morning, I had the funniest thought. I've always believed in Karen Reed's innocence, but over time, I've believed in it more and more and more. And I never thought I could believe in it any more than I did until after I saw those ARCA videos. And they just really kind of, in my particular opinion, broke things out a lot more in depth and really just validated what we have always thought, which is this never happened. John O'Keefe was murdered. He was certainly attacked by a dog. We can always debate about one person, 2 people, 3 people being physically involved. Whatever you want to do, you can debate about who was actually more involved or the most involved. But we know the dog was involved. We know he was beaten to death or attacked. We know he was left to die outside in the cold. And we know that Karen Reed didn't do this. And that's all that matters. And I hope this jury can see through all of this. Jen, I believe, brought up the OUI charge. This was actually something that was a big conversation. I was driving home from court yesterday, and I was listening to Melanie Little, who had about really a superstar team of attorneys, including Mark Betterow, and Runkle was on there as well. And one attorney said, I'm concerned about the OUI charges because they might ding her on 2.5 years in prison. So I know you guys debated that, hashed it out, felt a lot better about it, which was great on this show. But that is something I have my eyebrow raised for right now to see what happens with that. But I do see not guilty coming down, at least on most of these charges. But I think the OUI is the one I'm kind of raising my eyebrow at a little bit. And I'm kind of a little bit nervous about that one. And we'll see where that goes. Now, Meredith, I talked to Meredith. Me and Mike talked to Meredith a little bit yesterday. We talked to her about the trial, she testified in, how great of a job she did. And I made a comment to her, and it was picked up on the Young Jerk stream as well. And I said, this all needs to end for Karen Reed, and it all needs to end for Turtle Boy too. Aiden has been an absolute soldier. He has literally put this before his own personal freedom, in a sense, where he's actually served hard time And, trolls might laugh at that hard time comment there. I frankly don't care. But 60 days in jail, an hour in jail is too much, quite honestly. And 60 days in jail is quite a bit. And it's a lot more than people might think it is. It's not just sitting there for 2 months and you're feeling good about life. It's 6 months by yourself, talking on an app to your followers, which is at least is something positive that he had an opportunity to do. I'm sure it kind of kept him, definitely a little bit more elevated mentally than he would have been if he didn't. But I'll say this. It's time for Aiden, like I said to Meredith, and Mike was there to witness me saying this to her, it's time for Aiden's charges to kind of go away and disappear and end once and for all. These are ridiculous charges. They are 5-cent bubblegum charges that aren't really worth much.
Good way to put it.
And it's yeah, exactly, James. And that's really what this all boils down to. There has been no witness intimidation. None of these witnesses have been intimidated. He's intimidated nobody. These are manifested charges. And when was walking around and doing shows the way he was and going on all these streams he was going on to really popularize this thing and really is the reason why this is such a media sensation, because the media has picked up on his stories. And I've followed Turtle Boy for a long time. And I'll tell you, to be honest, probably as far back as 2013, 2014, I've followed him. And I'll tell you, there were a lot of stories he reported over the years that he reported before Boston 25 and a lot of other local networks. And then weeks would go by, and finally those local networks would pick up on the stories he'd talk about, and he'd make that a point in his posts. Like, once again, finally the news is saying something I've been saying for a while. And I truly believe that's what's happened here once again with the Karen Read case. He talked about this case. He popularized it. The news media picked up on it. Trust me, the news media wants to know what's going on the ground anywhere in the state. They interview Rita Lombardi yesterday, a boots on the ground legend for Karen Read, right? They interview other people, Nick Rocco. They want to know what the insiders in the Free Karen Read movement or the Turtle Boy supporters are talking about. It's the same thing when it comes to Turtle Boy's articles and posts and all that stuff over the years. That was a hot story. It was a big story. Something was happening. And it's a shame that a lot of the local news media don't want to give him the respect and credibility that I feel that he deserves. Because I will say this, he has done a better job than any local media or any national media has ever done. And I'll say this, shout out to Jess Machado for what she did for Aiden yesterday, allowing him to take her alternate spot in the courtroom and allow him to be there. And there was a troll online that tried to bring up the fact that Aiden once wrote about Jess Machado. But the thing that's different about Jess Machado than a lot of people that hate Aiden is that Jess Machado could say, whatever happened. Let's bygones be bygones, but let's get together and support a common cause, which is freeing Karen Read. Because Jess Machado has character, and Aiden, who might have wrote an article a little bit negative about her in the past, was very friendly with her. And I was in the Registry of Deeds with both of them yesterday, and they're both wonderful. They're both great people. I don't care what the trolls have to say about them. I frankly don't care. Aidan Kearney is a great man. He's a very good man. Jess Machado is a very great woman. And I don't care what anybody has to say about them in a negative sense, but these are people that are fighting for a woman right now that is being absolutely run down by a county, if not the state, that are trying to put her behind jail bars for a crime she didn't commit. That ARCA, federally related people, have proven that, look, arms would have broken, even the sleeves of the shirt, there's no real tears that would match the wounds on the arm. And, furthermore, there were no rips in the ARCA experiment. So why would there be marks and puncture wounds at that all over the arm? So it's all ridiculous. But for Aidan Kearney, my big concern is that Karen walks out of here, an innocent woman, and then she fights her civil suit. But then here we are watching Aiden battle this stuff for years to come, which I really don't want to see for him. And I really think he deserves better. And he said recently on one of his programs that he was very upset that people in a particular, this is not anything against that show, that host, but it was just among people that commented on that show, that they only care about Karen Read's innocence and they don't care about Turtle Boy being acquitted of all charges. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody what to say, think, or do, but I will say this. How can you in good conscience want to see Karen Read innocent, but not in any way, shape, or form care about Aidan Kearney, his future, and his well-being, when probably for you yourselves only know about this story because of what he did and how he put himself on the line? Because I'll tell you, the only reason why I followed this case and got so into it was because of Turtle Boy. I started to see his links and read about it, and I said, oh my God, this is crazy. But to anybody out there that has an attitude that they don't care about Aiden, well, how can you be so upset about what they're doing to Karen, but not be so upset about what they're doing to Aiden and all that he's doing, right? And they've lashed out at him for popularizing this.
Those are the worst people. They're the tourists. That's what they are. They're tourists. They're the people who gawk on the sidewalk and watch someone drive by an accident, and they would never think to help or stop or do anything. They're just the worst ones. I got to say,
absolutely,
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that to me, I'm a free Karen Reed person, but I'm also a Turtle supporter. I've known him for a little while. I've gotten to know him. I saw him again yesterday. He's always he extends his hand to me, shakes my hand. We have the mutual respect. And, like I said, he's earned every bit of this. All the followers on YouTube, all the followers on X, and Brian LTL, who recently gave him a YouTube award just the other day, was a tremendous gesture. Hopefully one day things will clear for YouTube to just give Aiden the award directly from them. But I thought that alternatively, if they never do, I'm proud of Brian LTL for doing what he did and giving Aiden a nice award there to just honor his what he deserves, and quite frankly, what he's earned.
Yeah, I mean, we basically went around the room with this, and I think everybody agrees with every comment that you say, but you just do it so well. And this is why everybody loves to have you on the show, because just kind of like Mike, you're able to put these things together and string them and tell the story of somebody and why something is really important. I went basically off the wall on a tirade about how important I think Aiden is to the movement and how courageous that he is. And that's something that should mean something, because a lot of people aren't courageous. They just will watch something happen and they'll just be like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
Right.
He's covering things mainstream media isn't. He's going up to these people asking for answers and questions that mainstream media is just, 30 seconds and that's the end of that. So
that's correct.
Maybe some people don't know too, like Maza and me and Jen, and I think Michelle. Like, we've been following Aiden. Like, I've been following, like Maza said, for a decade. So I've seen, like, I didn't come at this like a Aiden fanboy. I'm not a fanboy of anybody. Like,
nor am I.
People. We're all human. But I like what he does. Like, I've been watching.
You are a Mark Betterow fanboy. Just a minute, Mike.
Think so?
We all are.
I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you, Mike.
You don't have to have a decade in this to. I'm basically at 1 year of following Karen Reed because of Aiden, and then watching Mike's show is how I got involved. And I can see what his value was within weeks, within probably a week of following this case and saying, oh my God, this is the guy that stood up. And so you don't necessarily need a decade in this to understand the gravity of what he's done.
Gives you an idea of the depth of what he is, though.
Yes.
Like,
right.
It's not just Karen Reed. Like, he's not a one-trick pony.
No.
Right.
This guy has been exposing shit in the state, especially around police corruption, for a long time.
Well,
and it's had an
I
effect
remember
nationally.
I remember the day that he had put up that he had a story, right? And that was when Natalie had reached out to me. And I thought to myself, I wonder if he would want to talk to Natalie. And I thought he would do 1 or 2 stories and it would be over, because I thought it was going to be dropped, as soon as the house locked out in the cold. And I remember reading that first blog. I hate to call it a blog, but the article, and thinking, okay, this is good. Couple articles. Never did we think that it would become what it's become.
And Jen, didn't he question in the beginning? He questioned Karen, like
he did.
Yeah,
he did. He would challenge her with Natalie, and at one point, I think he said to them, "You're both being a bunch of cunts," and like stop. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, DJ.
No, I was saying thank you to somebody who donated. It's okay.
Stop jerking me around.
Right.
At this, and Karen was always just able to come back with the receipts, the evidence that what she was saying was true, and Natalie knew a lot. So I remember the first day that Natalie reached out to me and I reached out to Aiden, he would say, ask her for this, ask her for this, ask her for this. And I thought she was just sending it right to me. She was getting it directly from Karen. I mean, you could ask Karen, hey, Karen, I need this motion from August 2nd, 2023. And you literally put your phone down and pick it up and she has sent it. That woman knows everything about her case. Everything.
As she should.
As she should.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the one that they say she's kind of like the paralegal, sort of the their team, their defense team, which is really awesome. We have some questions in the chat because we only have about 10 minutes left, and we have some good things. So just if anybody wants to comment on these, please step up. This one regards Brian Albert. So if anybody wants to say something about this.
I am hesitant about this. You know, I'm a big non-supporter of conspiracy theories, stories, things without evidence. I know this has been said about Brian Albert many times with these assault charges, but where did that start? I mean, does anybody know? I've never seen.
That's what I would say. Where's the proof? Where's the documentation?
Where's the proof of this?
I hear some names being thrown around, which makes me think maybe there is something to it, but I've never actually seen any proof. I wouldn't doubt it did happen and got covered up, but we need receipts. We need receipts. We've never seen any receipts on that shit. And I think if there were receipts, I think the defense would have kind of used that in one of the two trials, or like
I agree.
Pushed it out there.
They used it against Colin Albert and his, fighting. And they would certainly use it against Brian Albert.
What another kid that got up there and as a young man that's in, I mean, what was he, 18, 20 when he got on the stand? I don't know. And he just lied and said, I'd never been in a fight. Why would you? It's just unbelievable. Of course you've been in a fight. Who, what kid that probably grew up in Canton hasn't been in a fight?
It's normal to be in a fight as a young boy.
Kind of normal.
And it's normal to fall on your knuckles when you slip on ice,
that's
too.
Not normal. Yeah, that's not normal.
Yeah. I know. That was a great
one. You have no
coordination.
coordination, it is.
Who would like to take a shot at this one right here? Peter Murphy, retired Canton police officer, has a video saying Brian Higgins has signed an agreement with the feds in exchange for information. Do you have anything else on this? Anybody here on the panel?
That's been going around for a long time. That started 2 years ago, and I love that new people are involved in this case. But you see the old stuff start to come up again. Brian Albert, he did have a proffer with the FBI, but I think it more centered around his possible charge of using the kiosk to download his phone. I don't think that ever had anything to do. Nobody's flipping. Nobody's flipping at this point.
So that's the old I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, the proffer. They said he got a proffer.
Yeah. So that's not new.
And I do believe he got one, but nobody knows what it's about.
Yeah, it was like a one day proffer.
Oh, he's the flipper. Yeah.
But Jen, why mention a tall, dark-haired man walked in the house? I think that has to be part of it because that didn't tie into anything that anybody said. So I think they got that as a bonus, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think if that were true, somebody would have called him to the stand in trial number 2.
I think that was protecting himself too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know their strategy. I know that Attorney Betterow, who's been on with Mike frequently, said that he would have called Higgins and Proctor.
Yeah.
This question right here is but obviously the defense team said that they did, felt that they did.
I wonder if Betterow hasn't changed his mind on that because
I think it's good.
A little more good with it now, because I
felt like I get that same idea, Mike. Yeah,
and now that it's happened, now that I've seen what they did, like their defense witnesses, I feel a lot better. I think he does too. Like I feel like we really didn't need them, and I think we get the idea why we didn't need them now because it complicates things. It creates a jury trying to solve the case and all this other stuff.
That's a good point.
The whole thing on the defense is there's no evidence she hit him. So I think they just focused on that, and I think it was actually a good move in the end. It's definitely a gamble, but I think even Betterow would probably agree with that now.
You've done it again, Mike. That is a great point. Again, because I think the sentence you said where the jury would be trying to solve the case.
Mm-hmm.
Mark also said that he would have focused on different things than the defense did through, because I listen to him every time he's on your show, Mike, that he would have run his defense a little bit differently. But I think he did say yesterday after the closing that they did it perfectly. They really did.
They did.
I did.
Lord, hear our prayer. So what's the other? We have another one here about the some sort of federally protected Proctor group test. Anybody having this from attorney Adam Tepper, Esquire? Thank you for dropping in, sir. Anybody have any information on this? No. Sounds like a no.
I think the federal government gave the defense in their TUI release what was necessary for Karen's defense. I don't think we'll ever see anything else.
That's a really good point, Jen, because if you let too much out of the bag, it kind of lets, if there is an investigation that's going on, and Peter obviously feels very, very strongly that there is an investigation that has not closed, then you're basically really, really tipping your hand if you give them all your information. That's a great point. Mike, this one's for you right here, sir.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just want to get that one. This one.
Well, I'll say this just to say real quickly. Aiden Kearney posted on Twitter last night that he had 6 jurors that he felt very highly of. I just want to note that 5 of those 6 jurors are among those 12. And one of the jurors that he mentioned he was not sure of got eliminated, which is so juror number 14, he's not in that 12. So it looks like there's some positive. Like I was telling some people yesterday, I'm just hoping like 10 of those 12 people at least are just really assertive in what they believe in terms of Karen Reid's being not guilty. And I hope it's like no more than at least 2 people that are kind of either on the fence or swaying the other way. And hopefully they can just kind of be, just slightly moved over to the other side to get, all that. And I thought what was perfect about Alan Jackson's closing argument, he says basically, if you can't sit there and say that she's absolutely guilty, that's reasonable doubt, and that equals a not guilty vote. That was very important to say, that the jury knows what their duty is. I think last year's jury, they thought they were detectives. They thought they were CSIs. It's like, you guys, look, you're not here to solve the case. You're not here to theorize it. This woman, if she's not guilty and you're not sure because you weren't sure about the lessers last time, then that is, in fact, reasonable doubt. And that, in fact, means that the 12 of you should declare her not guilty, because there is no absolute evidence or absolute proof that proves that Karen Reid did this.
Brendan said it himself. Brendan said it in his closing argument. We don't know how John died. We don't know how he was hit. We don't know what happened. So if you don't know what fucking happened, why are you charging a woman with fucking murder?
Shit.
Oh, I
drop the microphone. Drop the microphone, Jen. Drop the mic.
Honestly,
I think that last jury too was influenced by that foreman. I really do, and I don't think there's going to be someone like that this time. And a younger jury. I'm hoping to go on Monday afternoon, but like I said, I can't guarantee I'm going to be there, because I have hope that the jury says, you know what, we don't need lunch today. We're not guilty, and that's it. Like, so hopefully, I don't even have to drive out to Dedham on Monday. That's
but then you got to come down and celebrate.
Well, maybe if I get there and people are still there. I mean, if the jury decides at 12 o'clock and I get there at 3 or 4, I don't know. People might be at C.F. McCarthy's by then. You know what I mean?
So, right. Yeah. C.F. Dedham, the house in the Tavern of the Square in Dedham, or
But I have hope. That's what I'm hoping. I hope this jury just comes back Monday morning and says, you know what, we need like 2 hours. And they come back after 2 hours.
Well,
there goes your mic again.
We
Mike.
lost Mike's.
I hope they take the free lunch on Monday and we all make it there, because I might even try to get up there that afternoon. Let me tell you what, if you're getting me up and I'm showering and drying my hair and getting dressed and driving to Dedham to go to court, you're giving me free lunch. So
that ham and cheddar wrap, it's highly underrated.
That turkey sandwich.
You take it home. You take it to go though. You at that point, it's like, I'm
ham
taking
sandwiches for everybody.
I hope you guys are right.
I'll buy 100 ham sandwiches.
Seriously.
I think the last one, this had to do with John's hoodie right here. Basically, why are they cutting the back of John's hoodie when he had 0 injuries on his back? His injuries were on his right arm in the defensive position. No wonder they didn't find dog DNA. I don't know. Is anybody? I don't know if anyone knows CSI. Go ahead, please.
So I forget who I was listening to. Oh, okay. It was somebody on Melanie's channel when they had all the attorneys last night. I think he did some kind of crime. I don't know, some crime scene stuff, detective or something. So they said sometimes they will, not as many as they did, of course, but they will take fabric from another part of the shirt to match it to the parts that had blood to almost like as a comparison. And that may be the reason why they use, but I guess there's more holes in it than he would have expected.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know. I mean, I don't know why we don't have a Brady violation based on hiding the x-rays. I didn't know that they had x-rays of John's arm until the other day. I don't know if the defense knew.
The defense knew. They had to be part of discovery. But the fact that they hid them from their own expert is the question. Like, why didn't they give them to Welshare? So I don't think they hid them. But the thing that they that should have been a mistrial immediately was the sweatshirt. Was the sweatshirt to Dr. Wolf. I mean, that happened during the Alec Baldwin trial where they had that bullet that they never presented in discovery, and it was dismissed with prejudice. The fact that Brennan held up that sweatshirt and presented it as if John had slid on the ground with the holes is absolutely inexcusable.
Because he
didn't say were the great concerns?
He knew what he was doing.
He knew. He knew. Well, and if he didn't know, then Lally and McLaughlin, they knew.
Yeah, as we've said from the beginning, is that when you have you're a liar and a cheater like Morrissey and a dishonest person, when you're going to hire a special DA, you have to hire somebody like you. So during the interview process, he obviously would have figured out, hey, this guy's a player. He's a liar. He's a cheater. He will play. He will basically eschew legal ethics in lying to the jury and all those sorts of things. So he found his guy, and now you know what kind of guy you had. That's the kind of guy that probably defends Whitey Bulger, the mob lawyer types. So that's great to represent the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to have a guy like that. Good job. Adam Tepper just says, absolutely. The other day, federal 83, 85, 86 lawsuits. Karen will be a multimillionaire. Again, Lord, hear our prayer, even though I'm Jewish. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I had for you guys.
How are we looking for a total of money raised? I think you guys got what it was 180,000. Now it's 181,000. So
Bia, do you have a total?
I do. We started off at 179,374, and we're at 180,699.
Wow!
Wow!
So,
wow! Grand.
Yeah.
Wow!
So over
I just
you
love
guys.
our audience.
You guys killed it, man. Now we're talking about Mike's audience over there at the Young Jerks, which is a huge audience.
I swear to God, it doesn't even matter how many people are watching because our audience is so generous. I love them.
We've been up in the club pretty 2,300 people or so watching. So thank you, everybody who donated. Please indicate somewhere if you want to be in the giveaway for the Turtle Boy poster. That is basically his mugshot poster that he's going to sign, or is signed. I believe Meredith has that, and we'll look to do that on Wednesday. The Space Force stuff or the stuff from the Cab store. So any of those things. Yes, ma'am, please.
And DJ, I just want to add, there were some people that have been putting that they forgot to mention Cab. Some people just did Young Jerk. So I did get a message out to Meredith, and she's going to take it back from when the show started. So anybody who's donated will be entered in the drawing.
Okay, there you go. Drawing. Oh, sorry. I love it. No, it's all good. So, and there is, I put the Cab store in there. If there's something there, a t-shirt or in a mug or a t-shirt and a water bottle or something that you want, let me know what that is. I will buy the stuff and have it. It will be sent directly to the address that you give me, whatever that happens to be. And same with Space Force stuff. And then Meredith will handle your signed Turtle Boy poster. We have one more super chat before we start playing the Eddie Vedder music. And this, Cheryl with an S.
Cheryl with an S. What's up, Cheryl?
Yeah,
Yes,
we got to
hi,
meet.
Cheryl.
Michael Morrissey was booed in the Flag Day parade today in Quincy, by the way. His video.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is that his
That's
hometown?
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Mayor
great.
McCheese.
Oh, that's great. I got to see a video of that.
In his town. Yeah, in his town.
God forbid I get booed in my own hometown. That
Man, what, that parade went on today too?
Yes, there was one yesterday.
It started yesterday.
I was in Dedham, yesterday, and I was getting ready to leave, and someone told me, "Hey, Maza, just be careful what streets you go down because the parade's going down." I looked down to the left towards the district courthouse, towards Dedham House of Pizza, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's a parade going on. I'm gonna have to go the other way,ch is fine. It was out of my way anyways." But,
You should have met us at the Mexican restaurant. We were having a good time over there.
Oh, that's good. Let me know next time.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, we could do a lot more with this panel. These guys are so awesome, but as Eddie Vedder's saying in this guitar riff right here, we got to save it for later. I want to thank all the mods that are here, not only the cab mods, but also Mike's mods and my friend, the legend, Sarah Shakanhara, who's getting it done tonight and kicking these a-holes out of here that we're talking crap about, Pearl Boy and others. And also parting shots. Let's go with parting shots with Bia, and then I'll just give a farewell to everybody.
Yes. Thank you, everyone who donated. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we appreciate everything. Let's go help Turtle Boy out.
Let's help Turtle Boy. Jen.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'll do anything to help Aiden.
Money Mike.
I just thank you everybody who donated tonight and everyone who showed up, and again, support Turtle Boy. This is about everybody. They're all of our voices, like every person who has a social media account, Twitter, Facebook. It's about all of us. They're going to come after more of us if they get away with this.
Yep.
Especially us YouTubers. If you want to support us, support Aiden. Please donate tonight if you can. Please donate regularly. We got to make sure he wins and show up to his court cases if you can. It was great to see all the people there. It was like a full courthouse for him for the misdemeanor. I hope people do the same on his felony cases. I can't thank our audience enough. Thank you all for watching, supporting, and donating.
Thank you so much, Mike. Michelle Littlefield.
Like Jen said, anything, anytime for Aiden. Honestly, he's he's the godfather of this entire movement, and I'd like to see the future of Free Karen Reed become Friends of Karen Reed. So I think you'll see this group sticking together, and like Mike said, supporting Aiden really is supporting all of you that have these YouTube channels that get this information out to us. So supporting Aiden is absolutely crucial. So thank you guys. It was a pleasure to meet Mike and Mike finally. I got to fangirl Miss Jackson already once, but I'll have to meet Mike and Mike soon.
All right, James Actionable Jackson.
I just want to say thanks for having me.
Thank you, brother.
Free Turtle Boy, and happy Father's Day to Turtle Boy, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
That's so funny. Adam from Southie. Or Kevin from Southie. That was your caller.
Oh, yeah, Kevin from South Boston.
I love it. Mr. Maza Media, parting shot, sir.
Yeah, free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy, and, a great amount of money raised for Aiden tonight, which was absolutely fantastic. Miss Jessica NB requested a shout out for me, so a shout out to her. Hope you're well. And the big week coming up next week in Dedham. I think everything's going to be over no later than Friday, but I think as early as Monday, and some people think early Tuesday by noon on Tuesday. But I'm with Michelle. If I'm a juror, I want that free lunch. But no, it's okay. Maybe I just say, hey, let's turn the verdict and let's get out of here and let's have lunch someplace else. But hey,
you take the lunch to go.
Take the lunch to go. Yeah,
that's what I would think.
Mike,
order lunch.
Everybody on the panel would donate to free lunch for the entire jury if they get us out of there early in the morning. So I'm all in for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I just gave a chat in the Turtle Boy live right now, just with Mike and DJ, obviously, just giving the announcement that over 7,000 was raised on this show, and I'm seeing some responses trickling in right now already. So I get that little shout out for this show tonight. You know, again, everybody that came on tonight, that's great. I think anybody that can help raise funds for Karen or Turtle Boy or whomever else is awesome, and that's awesome, DJ. Great job organizing the show tonight, and you know, beware of the men in black, DJ. You know, you never know when they're going to come on your door telling you not to talk about UFOs and aliens. You know, it's no different than what's going on with the Massachusetts State Police trying to tell you not to. No, I was kidding.
that could happen, man. I'm telling you, they're pushing back. They're pushing back hard right now. Have you guys seen the Wall Street Journal article last week? Oh yeah, their government pushing back hard about UFOs. I can't thank you guys enough. We would not have raised all this money if y'all weren't here. There's Kathy O'Grady, who's just an incredible person in the movement. Thank you,
Love
Kathy.
You, Kathy.
We love you, Kathy.
Love you.
And I look forward to seeing you guys all again. So on behalf of Bia, Jen, Mike, Michelle, James Jackson, and Maza, this is DJ saying peace out, one love, and we will see you down the road.